When I was discharged, I was in New York, and I didn't want to go. I'd been at Hollywood offers, which I wasn't interested in before, but now I did not want to go to Hollywood with nothing, looking for a job. I wanted to have material because material is always king. So I didn't have an idea. So I sat down in the middle of my living room in a chair in the middle, and I said, I'm not getting up until I have an idea. And I sat there for 2 hours, just concentrating. And finally, I got an idea, and I got up and did what I had to do. And I wrote the idea. It was called Suddenly It's Spring. Took it to Hollywood, and an agent there sold it to David Selznick. And Dory Sherry produced it. And one day Selznick, I wrote the screenplay. And Selznick called me and said, we're changing the title of your picture. And I said, yes, what is that? And he said, we're calling it The Bachelor and the Bobbysoxer. And I said, Mr. Selznick, sir, nobody in the world is going to pay to go see a movie called The Bachelor and the Bobbysoxer because I happen to know much more about the business than he did. So it opened at Radio City Music Hall, broke all the records. I got an Oscar for it. That was the beginning. In The Bachelor and the Bobbysoxer, Cary Grant, Myrna Loy, Shirley Temple, and Rudy Vallee played. The Rudy Vallee situation was very interesting. Cary Grant and I were having lunch one day, and he said to me, we have tested more than half a dozen people for the second male lead, and we can't find anyone. Do you know who'd be great? And I said, who? And he said, you. Would you be interested in testing with me? Well, I knew that acting was easy. There was nothing to it. I said, of course, Cary. I had written the original story of The Bachelor, the screenplay, and the test scene. So Cary made a phone call, and after lunch, he and I walked over to the set. They were all waiting for us. I knew all the lines because I had written them. And the scene was just between Cary and me. And Cary gave me my cue, and I panicked. I looked around at these 10 million people in the catwalks and all around the stage watching me, and without saying a single word, I fled from the stage. And that was the end of my screen test with Cary Grant.